fishing, it's in my soul.
Welcome to the Salt Strong Podcast, disrupting fishing entertainment as you know it. Prepare to laugh. Prepare to get to know fishing legends in a whole new and unfiltered way. And on occasion, you might even learn a thing or two about fishing. Here's your host, Joe Simons. Like diamonds.
Hello, Salt Strong Nation. Joe Simons, like diamonds, back again. Another Unchurched. This one is going to be a little bit different. This is going to be talking about how to deal with haters. And that could be everything from someone trolling one of your Facebook posts in a group. It could be your personal page where someone disagrees with something you've said about politics or riots or protest or religion or anything you could imagine, all the way to YouTube comments, etc. And I'm coming to you from someone who has a little bit of experience in this as we've built our platform. And I made a post here recently, just in the last 28 days, we have had 1.9 million views just on our YouTube channel. Hundreds of thousands of people come to our site every single month. So we get millions and millions of people are on saltstrong.com. And we've got 111,000 hours have been watched just in the last 28 days. That's, I don't know, divided by 24. I don't even know how many days that is of content watched. And with that, anytime you have a platform, and especially when you're the face of the platform, not just someone who builds it, you do tend to attract a lot of haters. And we get it. I mean, it's every day. In many cases, it's every 10 minutes. There's someone out there, for whatever reason, doesn't like what we're doing, doesn't like what we said, doesn't like our face for whatever reason. And here's what I found. The answer is just love. And that really is the solution to anything. It's the solution to all of the Black Lives Matter and Blue Lives Matter. It's the solution to every issue that we're facing out there. And I've really struggled with all of this stuff, these protests and the riots, and I haven't struggled with between wrong and right. I've struggled with what to say, and we've actually had quite a few people who have reached out and tried to call us out, and even one woman who was the only person who asked for her money back, and she said she wants her money back even though she likes us and likes our service. The fact that we don't speak out for the Black Lives Matter, that, because we also have our own right of freedom of speech, that, she's talking about, that, she wants her money back, and we gave it to her. We don't have time to be petty over stuff like that, and it's part of our promise and our guarantee. And we've just received a lot of these messages about and you could tell people are just angry and they're hurt. And I've really struggled with what to say, and I've prayed a lot on it. I've started to write stuff, and then I delete it, and it just keeps boiling down to every kind of message I get from God, and every time that I feel like I'm going in the right direction, it keeps tying back into love. And I started looking back at some of the really bad hate that we've received, because you're going to get, if you have a YouTube channel or any kind of platform at all as a small business, or a YouTuber or anyone who is doing anything online, you're going to get some hate. But we've had some pretty nasty stuff over the years. And a couple of them really, really stand out. And I'm not going to tell the whole story. We're going to probably do a whole another podcast, Luke and I are, about just all of the kind of the funny things that we've received over the years that kind of made us smile. But in every case on these really, really bad negative ones, these are people who are hurting. These are people who don't really hate us. They've never even met us, right? They don't really hate what we're doing. I mean, how can you hate two brothers who sold everything to teach people how to fish and to unite anglers, right? And to be great people. And how can you hate someone like that if you've never even met them or talked to them? So you always have to take a step back and just remind yourself, because it's easy to get agitated. Every time, 100% of the time, I get agitated right away, and then I have to take a step back and remind myself that they don't hate me. There's something in their life that's not right. They're hurting. something is happening to them or has happened to them that has caused a lot of hurt and a lot of pain. And I believe as Christians, or even if you're not a Christian, what we should be called to do, just as fellow human beings, is to love them back unconditionally. And I was talking to Mark, who's one of our newer employees. He handles all the tackle, and just a really great guy, a great Christian guy. And I was telling him about some of these struggles I've been having, and about just how to respond to these people who are just so full of anger and hate and just demanding all this stuff, and almost mad at us for not even talking about it and bringing it up, which in my personal opinion only stirs the pot even more. My personal opinion is that by everyone being so one-sided on there's two sides of this thing, obviously, in all of these riots and looting and stuff, it has caused more tension than at any time before. And it's written down very clear in the Bible. It's been demonstrated over and over again throughout many different civilizations, is any time that you have a city or a household that is divided, it will fall. It cannot stand. And that's what burns me up, just seeing all this stuff out there. But anyhow, going back to Mark shared something with me that I ended up writing it down as soon as he said it. It just like, this was it. And he's like, Joe, every person deserves love. I was like, wow, every person deserves love. I mean, think about that. That if everyone acted with just that one sentence, if everyone truly believed that and woke up every morning and said, I'm going to act this out, that every person deserves love, everything goes away. The problems go away. Literally the world's problems are solved. And he went on to say, Joe, if you can outlove the person in front of you, behind you, and beside you, regardless of race, religious belief, sex, sexual orientation, and even their opinions about you, then you can't fail. And I'm going to repeat that. This is really critical. So first sentence is every person deserves love. And the second one I kind of morphed around to for myself, but he kind of gave me the idea of this. And he's like, Joe, if you can just outlove the person in front of you, behind you, and beside you, regardless of race, religious belief, sex, sexual orientation, or their opinions, then you can't fail. And boom, I mean, that's what I strive to do every single day here at Salt Strong. It's what I strive to do every day at my household with my family. Am I perfect? Gosh, no. There are many days where I do get agitated, and I do have a little bit of anger, and rightfully so. But when I take a step back and look about what the Bible teaches and really what Jesus did anytime that he was confronted with something that he might have disagreed with, he basically just outloved the person. He asked really good questions and then showed him his thoughts in a very loving way. He was never, out there beating up people and stuff like that. He didn't have to. He did it with his words. And I believe that's what we're called to do, is just to flat out love people and almost kill them with kindness, kind of like what Jesus did, is almost kill them with your words. And back to those really, really mean and very hurtful messages that we've received over the years from people who've never met us. Every single time they were looking for a fight. There was something going on in their life or something in the past where they were just hurt and they wanted to lash out at someone and they wanted to fight, right? When someone's posting a comment to you or about you online, they're looking for a fight. We all know that. And the worst thing that you can do is go down to their level and start trying to have some kind of verbal assault with them. It never ends well. You're not going to convince anyone otherwise. You can't convince that person they're wrong. It never ends well. And so every time that I've taken the high road and just thanked them and told them I love them, every single time, 100% of the time, that issue has been diffused. Eventually, and a lot of times this has gone back and forth, and I just keep killing them with more and more love. And 100% of the time, they finally just walked away and said, this person's not even worth it. I can't even pick a fight with them. And then they go on to someone else. And if everyone had my same attitude where they just, hey, everyone deserves love. This person who is hating me, you know what? They deserve to be loved. I'm going to outlove them. I'm gonna kill them with kindness and just let them know that what they're saying doesn't bother me and that I love them. And if everyone had that same attitude, all of these problems in the world go away. Now, I personally don't know that will ever happen because this is tough. It is tough to always outlove people. It is tough with everything going around us, which is another reason my prior podcast I talk about getting rid of the news. There is not much love in the news. There is not much love in the media. There's not that much love on social media. There are so many things that can take you down the wrong path. There are so many distractions out there that can fill your head with anxiety, with even hate and animosity. I mean, I am guilty as well. There are some things that I've read and seen that just get me fired up. Like I am literally pissed off. And I have to go back to that little quote there that every person deserves love. And when you can try to put yourself in their shoes, regardless of what's going on in their lives and what they're rioting or picketing about. And I'm not talking about just the riots and the protests going on now. I'm talking about everything. I mean, people are doing it across this globe about all kinds of different things that they're passionate about, right? There's all kinds of different things from saving the elephants, and there's people that hate hunters, there's people that hate fishermen, there's people that hate billionaires. There's always someone protesting something. And if we can just put ourselves in their shoes and realize that they're hurt, that realize that they're going maybe through a tough time, and realize that maybe they just don't have any real purpose in their life yet. Maybe they're struggling to find that purpose, which is why they've gripped on to some cause that they might not even really understand. Put yourself in their shoes and just flat out love them. And speaking of that, I feel just called to share this with you. I truly believe a reason today that we have so many of these causes. It seems like every week there's some new cause that a big chunk of society is supporting, even though they might not understand it all, from saving the whales to saving the polar bears they've never met, to saving all the black people, to saving all the police officers, to saving all the white people, the Chinese, whatever it might be, to saving car tires. I mean, there's some new cause that seems to be going on every single day. And I believe that a reason because of that, I just touched on earlier, was that many of these people don't have God in their life, that many of these people don't have a purpose. They have not found a purpose yet, something that to live for, something that they can truly believe in, to know they're going to be going to heaven, to know that the next step, this next chapter, when we do pass away, is going to be even more amazing than the first, the one that we're currently presently living in. And I believe because of that lack, that void, that they don't have that purpose and they don't have that meaning, that they're just trying to grab onto something that just gives them some purpose. And that's, I believe, a big reason these causes are all becoming so popular, because so few people are now going to church. So few people really do have that faith and declare that, that God is their Father and that they are going to go to heaven and believe in Jesus. And I pray for those people. That's what I'm constantly having to go back to, is just, man, all of these people, regardless of what they're doing, regardless of how they're tearing apart our cities and communities, regardless of what they've done wrong, they all deserve love. And once again, if you can outlove that person in front of you, behind you, and beside you, and that negative hater on YouTube or Facebook or whatever it is, regardless of their opinion and race and religion, sex and sexual preferences and their opinions, you can't fail. And so that's my challenge to you, because it's the challenge to me. It's something that I wanted to go out publicly and say, because I too struggle with this. But I know if we can all just inch forward, and we don't have to change our entire lives tomorrow, but if we can all just inch closer and closer to that just letting it go, not letting stuff get to you, and just loving and out-loving everyone around us, then a lot of these issues clear up quickly, and those haters that I started this entire conversation with go away very, very quickly, because they're not going to have anyone to pick fights with, because everyone's going to be loving them so hard back that eventually they will come to as well. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that. This was just something that it kind of hit me eating lunch real quick, that I was, man, this is it. I'm going to do a podcast on this real quick. And it has served me really well during these crazy times where there is a lot of anger and there's a lot of hurt and there's a lot of pain out there, is trying to put myself in their shoes and then just flat out loving them, killing them with as much kindness as possible, and just trying to do the right thing like we're all called to do. So you guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, any other ways that you've handled haters or people who have kind of just tried to make your life tough for you. Hit me up, joe@saltstrong.com. That's joe@saltstrong.com. I would love to hear from you. Over and out.
'Cause fishing, it's in my soul. It was passed down to me from the days of old. Find us on the water if there was a way. It's been said my papa, he wrote the book on catching big reds and 20-pound snook. I wish I knew all the things he knew today. For he's the reason why we are this way. And he put fishing in her soul.